What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new football news video. And today's main topic is that Brendan Rodgers very suddenly left Celtic. He asked for permission to talk to Leicester City, and it has been official now that Leicester City appointed Brendan Rodgers as their new manager. What do you think about this news? And I will give my opinion, but I will also give reaction to this by a lot of different people, and I'm mainly interested in the opinions of Jamie Carragher and some former players who used to play for Celtic and Rangers. So we will cover a lot about this video. And I don't really understand why Brendan Rodgers did it right now, because Celtic are on the verge of winning the third treble in a row. Three trebles in 3 seasons, which is unprecedented even in Scotland. And also Celtic are on the verge of winning their 10th title in a row, which is also could be a record at the moment. Celtic have 9 titles in a row, and Rangers previously also won the Scottish League 9 times in a row. And I was actually really enjoying this Brendan Rodgers against Steven Gerrard battle in Scotland, Celtic against Rangers, and I don't really support either club, so I'm kind of a neutral, but Brendan Rodgers has a soft spot in my heart because he gave Liverpool fans one of the most exciting and one of the most memorable seasons in our recent history, the 2013-14 season. And even though we lost the league title on the last day of the season, it was still a memorable season. And let's not forget that Liverpool were not favorites or even rumored to be in the title race before the season began. Liverpool fans actually were hoping to get a top 4 finish. So the fact that we were even in the title race and we scored more than 100 goals in the Premier League is a small miracle. And yes, Brendan Rodgers had Suarez, but Brendan Rodgers coached Suarez to turn up week in, week out after we already know that it was well documented that Suarez wanted to leave for Arsenal. And Brendan Rodgers tactically, I think, was a fantastic manager for Liverpool. He played exciting attacking football. The one thing that he lacked was the tactical awareness and of course the experience to handle a title race like that. And I'm convinced that if Liverpool had just 1 or 2 better defenders that year, we win the league, because we conceded 50 goals in 38 games, which was an awful lot. And you can't win a title conceding that many goals, honestly. And I'm really hoping that he will be a success at Leicester City, but I don't really get the timing. Like, why didn't they sign a pre-contract right now and just tell Celtic to look for a manager for the summer or past the summer? And also Celtic should have, you know, in my opinion, if I was Brendan Rodgers, I would have said to Leicester, please give me another 3 months. Let me finish the season with Celtic. Let me win 1 or 2 more trophies with them, and then I can take over at Leicester in the summer, because Leicester have what, like 11 friendlies left, because they are not getting relegated. They are not getting in the top 4. They are not getting in the top 6, and I'm not sure does 7th place qualify for the Europa League if either Manchester City or Chelsea win the FA Cup, which is not a certainty, but it's a possibility. I'm not entirely sure. But Leicester maybe can finish still in the Europa League places. I don't think they are getting relegated because they just have too many good players to do so. But Claude Puel was not a fan favorite at Leicester City, so I can understand why they made the change. They are winless in 6 games, and it's very frustrating that in the last 6 games they lost 5, and the 1 game that Leicester didn't lose was against Liverpool, but never mind. What also Leicester City fans didn't like is their playing style. Under Puel, they were quiet, passive, defensive, didn't play attractive front foot attacking football. And Leicester are a two-faced team. In some games they can be brilliant. I mean, they beat Chelsea and Manchester City back to back, and then they lost the game, and then they beat Everton as well. So they can certainly beat the best of teams in the country, but they can also lose to the worst of teams, or some of the worst of teams. I mean, I remember them losing to Cardiff City straight after they beat a big team. So it's a very, very interesting appointment, but I'm not sure if Brendan Rodgers made the right decision, because at Leicester, like, what is the biggest or the most highest achievement that he can get? Maybe a 7th place finish, maybe a top 6 finish if one of the top teams have an absolute meltdown like Chelsea had a few seasons ago. But other than that, I cannot see Leicester City getting in the top 4. I mean, all the other teams above Leicester City, the top 6, the traditional top 6 right now, they will outspend Leicester City every summer. Yes, Tottenham didn't sign anybody this summer, but that's a unique situation in my opinion because of their new stadium. Yes, maybe Leicester City can have the odd League Cup or the FA Cup run. Leicester City might get into the Europa League if they finish 7th and the big teams win the cups in England, the best in cups, but that the European football is virtually guaranteed at Celtic as well. And I would argue that Celtic are a slightly bigger club than Leicester, but of course being back in the Premier League must be very exciting, and every British manager, and Brendan Rodgers is from the Northern Ireland, every British manager loves to be in the Premier League, so I can understand, and probably he will have a bigger wages at Leicester than at Celtic, but I don't think it's a money issue because Brendan Rodgers already has enough money. I mean, he has been a manager for quite a few years, and unless he spent all his money, blown it away, he's set for life, in my opinion. So I think Brendan Rodgers came back to England because he has a point to prove. Because how the Liverpool job ended for him, the way he was sacked, I mean, after challenging for the title, he made very bad transfer decisions. We signed Ricky Lambert and Mario Balotelli to replace Luis Suarez, which was a disaster. It was absolutely horrendous, and we finished in 7th place, I think, losing to Stoke City 6-1 in the final game of the season, and then a few months into the new season he was sacked, and that was really a car crash. The last few months of Brendan Rodgers' tenure, I think it was a bit too early for him to get the Liverpool job, because if he would get it now, I think he would have a much better chance to succeed. Not just because Liverpool are in a much better financial situation and we have a much better and bigger squad, but also he's more experienced. And actually, I will say this: I agree with some Liverpool fans' sentiment that if Liverpool keep Jurgen Klopp for the next 5 years or 6, I'm not sure if Jurgen Klopp wants to stay for longer. I really hope he does, because Jurgen Klopp is just perfect for Liverpool. But I'm not sure what Jurgen Klopp's long-term plans are. I really hope that Jurgen Klopp stays at Liverpool until he's 70 and he can't really be a manager, but that's a dream. The reality is that Jurgen Klopp might move on in the next 5 or 6 years, and Brendan Rodgers wouldn't be the worst appointment to follow Jurgen Klopp, because Brendan Rodgers plays the kind of attractive, explosive football that Liverpool fans want to see, and Liverpool have better defenders at the club, and we'll probably have a better squad in 5 or 6 years after Jurgen Klopp steps down than when Liverpool had when Brendan Rodgers came in the first time. And also Brendan Rodgers will have another 5 or 6 years experience, hopefully in the Premier League and maybe even at the top club. So it's not unthinkable that Brendan Rodgers will become a Liverpool manager in the future at some point, but I highly doubt it. But I would love to see him get a second chance, honestly, because I really liked the kind of football that he played at Liverpool, and if he had maybe one or two better defenders, I'm convinced that we would have won the title that year, because everybody is blaming the Chelsea game and the Gerrard slip for the title, but that wasn't why or how Liverpool lost the title, because we had an 11 game winning streak before the Chelsea game. Why we lost the title was because we lost to teams like West Brom, Hull City, and we dropped so many unnecessary points because of leaking goals. I mean, we lost a 3-0 lead in 15 minutes against Crystal Palace, and that game was the microcosm of our whole season, that season, where we were 3-0 up, playing brilliant football. We could have scored 4 or 5, but then our defense collapsed, and we lost control of the game. And that was also because of Brendan Rodgers' tactical inexperience and naivety. But let me know, guys, what do you think about this? Do you think Leicester made a good appointment with Rodgers? Will he be a success there? Do you think Brendan Rodgers made the right decision? It's hard to tell right now, but we will find out in 1 or 2 seasons. The Celtic fans, though, can feel a little bit harshly done by, because Brendan Rodgers said that it was his dream job, the Celtic job. I already saw some Scottish pundits taking the mickey out of Rodgers because of that. Chris Sutton, I think, or somebody like that, wished him well at his new dream job, the Leicester job, which I found quite like tongue-in-cheek and with a lot of sarcasm. So yeah, let me know, what do you think about this? And do you think Brendan Rodgers could be Liverpool manager again in the future, like anytime? Let me know, what do you think about that? And I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, see you later, goodbye.